Hello everyone and welcome back. What do we got here right when I start recording the video, dude? Descended from Zeus himself, you feel your hair stand upright. What is this? Oh my goodness, a negative golden surge dropper, 1,587,000 as soon as I hit record, guys. What? Dude, that's insane that we got something like that. Wow. Okay, so guys, I wanted to welcome to the video. Today I basically have a build I want to show with you. You see my stats right here on the screen. 1.5 UD a second at 100% efficiency, guys. So it's anywhere, it hovers around on average 1 UD a second in my current magnetic fire build, guys. So that's what I'm here to show you today. You could go ahead and use this build. I'm going to show you the droppers, I'm going to show you the upgraders and the furnace and everything I'm using to achieve this. And yeah, you'll be able to nearly max out everything like I have. So I'm pretty excited about that. I also got this newer aura, as you see here. I'm gonna have to maybe turn off the cutscenes here for the video, but it is kind of nice when you get something crazy like we did on the intro, dude. That is actually pretty cool. So we'll keep it on for now. But we have the new weather update basically just a few days ago, right? It raised Tycoon levels to 10. It upgraded the UI and the map quite a bit, added 23 new items, 9 of which are weather exclusive depending on the weather. Currently now it is raining out. There's also new cutscenes for 1 million plus rarity items and the new home button, some bug fixes and stuff like that, guys. So it's pretty awesome. I'm going to go ahead and turn auto off for the sake of the video. So let's go ahead and show you what you can achieve with my build and everything. You can max out basically your Tycoon. You can max out your luck. I've only been grinding for about 4 days on this game. I haven't been grinding non-stop on it. And as you see now, I have 149 DD. So let's go ahead and buy that upgrade luck to max out to 2 times luck. So we have the Tycoon, the luck burst all maxed out. Really, all that's left is to keep on grinding, getting better things to, you know, upgrade the walk speed, which isn't that big of a deal. So you could pretty much use this build, grind for several days, and depending on the rarities of the stuff you have, you might even be better than I am. So let's go ahead and take that off right there. So here it is right here. I'm going to go ahead and also take off my aura just for the sake of the video here, even though I think it looks pretty cool. So we'll go ahead and take that bad boy off. So as you see, I'm hovering anywhere around like 800 to 1.5, 800 DE a second to 1.5 UD, which is a lot better. Look at that, just skyrocketed back up. And we're at 100% efficiency, guys. So this is actually a solid build. And in fact, this is pretty much the build I've been using since I started. I like restructured after my first video a few days ago to this one right here. And I'm going to show you everything, all of the levels. And just keep in mind, if you're not tier 10 yet, you could still apply these machines to whatever tier you're on. You'll just be using less combos of them because you have less slots available, but you'll still be able to actually use the theory behind it, which is all related to the golden signal transmitter that I have right here. This is the furnace I have. I was lucky to get this after 65,000 rolls, guys. It's 1.252 million chance, or 1 in 2.5 million chance. And it's really 162 times value, an extra 1.6 times if magnetic and fire, and it says 0.2 times if fueled. I don't know if that's extra or if it actually makes it worse, but I've tried not using any fueled at all and it went down quite a bit. So this build actually uses some items that are fueled because I've been getting good you know, gains from them being fueled 4 times as they go in. So taking a look at the ore here, guys, as they go in, we're going to try our best to hover over them. They are stacked with fire. They have magnetic, fueled, polished, magnetic. There's a bunch of magnetics on there. They even got some wet action going on. And of course, they're fueled. So it's all about making sure they have a bunch of fire magnetic modifiers. We clear some of those to make the multiplier even higher. And yeah, we're getting a lot of cash when it goes in, as you see here, like 1.24 UD, etc. And you could tell by how much we're getting a second that it's pretty darn good, guys. So let's go ahead and jump right into this bad boy and show you. There's even something I realized I could even improve on this, so I can't wait to show you that towards the end of this video. So it shouldn't be too hard or too long to show you, and feel free to pause at any time if you do want to copy the build layout exactly. But it's important for you just to understand what I'm using and which ones could probably be subbed out for a different one if you don't have the machines. So not all of these are purely fire and magnetic. A lot of them also, because they have high multipliers or they're just my best rarity, where that kind of, you know, outweighs actually adding the multiplier. It's just that they're such a strong, you know, factory item that they're so good. So here we are on the top right here. We're going to go ahead and look this way. If you have tier 10, and this layout really relies on the celestial lights I have here, as well as the radiant stars, because this is what gives the magnetic and the fire multipliers right off the bat from the dropper. We also have a guttation dripper, because this one's overclocked golden. It's 11.5 million rarity. It's actually very strong. So even though it doesn't apply directly, its efficiency is 1.12 thousand a second, which is amazing, guys, and that's just a high multiplier in general. But we have yet another overclocked negative golden radiant star here. This one is my bread and butter. I got this after I started using this build, and it just made it so much better. It's a 61.1 million rarity right here. This thing is amazing efficiency, 2.4 thousand, and gives 2 times magnetic. That's awesome. And then down here on the south, this is what I'm working with right here. It's a little hard to hover over this one right here, so we're gonna do our best. It's the galvanic surge. It's only a 263,000 rarity, but look at the efficiency. It is 863 a second. That's actually a lot of efficiency. Its drop rate is pretty good at 0.7 a second, and it does add fuel, which kind of incorporates into everything. I got this after 100,000 rolls, but really I've been so lucky to get this overclocked negative golden radiant star after 200,000 rolls. This is really the best you're going to get for this one right here, so I'm pretty excited about that for this build. Then we have over here, we have a negative golden contamination. This again is a magnetic one. Now it could be a little bit better. It's 987,000 rarity, so it's not like bad by any means. It's actually pretty good, and the drop rate's 0.2 a second, so it doesn't drop too often, but it is pretty valuable when it does drop. So those are my droppers right here. Again, just to hover over them, we have celestial lights up here, and these are the ones that give the fire times. Then we have 4 radiant stars total, and then we have the contamination. Those are the key ones for this. The other 2 I put on, like I said, are just very high rolling and very high efficiency. They're not really that directly related, although this one does get fueled, so just keep that in mind. As long as you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7 ones part of the magnetic fire, you should be pretty good. So they changed the way this layout is right now. So now you have the upgraders at the end before they drop down to the second tier. So what I did on the top, I just placed an overclocked negative magnetron. It's nothing crazy, actually. It's not that great, but it does add another layer of magnetic to all of the ores, and that actually is pretty good because that goes into play. So now we have the guttation dripper, like I said, and the other one over there that have high output. They're now turning magnetic. And then we end with the heavenly runes, because we want to just remove any vulnerable that might be output by any of these ores. And also just because at the time it was, you know, kind of one of my higher upgrades at 95 times. So just keep that in mind. This one could probably be subbed out with something else that's even better or fits better if you do have it. So keep that in mind, guys. So that's the dropper field right there. Again, just keep in mind radiant stars and celestial lights are going to be the best droppers for this particular build because they add magnetic and fire. So here we are in the second tier. This one's actually a bit easier to explain because there's not much going on here. So what I have here is a Moonlight Temple, a 9.2 million rarity. And that is because this is, again, one of my best ones I have. So that's why I put it down. Originally, I had it down lower until I realized today, actually, that it gives an extra 1.5 times upgrade after 12 seconds. So I moved it up here to give it enough time to actually reach that 12 seconds before it hits the furnace. So we put that right there. But then we're going to go again. We're going to go ahead and put a flame blaster right around the corner here, and it's going to add fire. Now you got to be careful with this because fire destroys ores after this certain amount of time, and if you're using the Galaxy Rapture ore like I am, it makes timers 2 times as fast. So that's actually in 2 seconds these ores are destroyed. So you immediately have to follow this up with what I use is the Auroral Tundra, which removes fire, and for removing that fire it adds again more multiplier, guys. So you're starting to see the drift now. We're adding a bunch of fire or magnetic onto our ores to then remove them to add even more multipliers onto those. And in between is a Gates of Calamity. It's just like the Flame Blaster basically, and I have them back to back because they will all reach this by 2 seconds and be cleared and have additional multipliers. So that's what we did on the second tier, guys. Go ahead and put a strong thing here if you have it, and then you really want to add fire and then remove the fire here to just stack the multipliers for when they drop down. So here we are now in the final area. As you see, I'm getting nearly 1 UD a second, but the efficiency is still 100%, guys, and that's really awesome. So what I put here was just a simple bubble gum stockpile because it was one of my strongest at the time. It doesn't really add any effects. It makes ores bouncy, and that really doesn't matter at that point because they have just a flat path to go, as you see. So that's really something you could replace as well. Again, I put it there because it was one of my highest multiplier ones and I had nothing better at the time. So I'm going to continue the trend with the Gates of Calamity to, now that they have no fire on them, add more fire. Then we're going to remove it with the Auroral Tundra again, as you see, immediately. So there's no chance for those ores to be lost. And then we're going to add the steam engines here on the corner. We're going to give them the fueled because I think it does actually help in this build at the end, because the signal transmitter does give some sort of bonus to fueled, even though it's not much. And also, just a little tip you have to pay attention to. I noticed that with my particular aura on, if I was to put like something that added fire on the corner and then something that was like down here to remove it, it didn't really have enough time to actually hit all the ore. So I found it just to be a safe bet to have them right next to each other. Anything that adds and removes to be in the same lane, it just helps and seems to be more output. I can't really explain why, but that's those right there, the steam engines. Now we got another magnetron right here. This again is just, it's a low one, it's not that great, but it adds magnetic. It does give some sort of multiplier, and it's been helping out so far. Now around the corner here is a Heavenly Runes. This is just a high multiplier I had at the time, so I put this on the corner, and it will remove any vulnerable if there are any on there that matter, so that doesn't hurt either. But then we're towards the end here, and we have a Steampunk Overdrive, a 3.7 million, and this is an extra 1.1 times multiplier for each fueled. So this is really the bread and butter to why I'm even doing fueled in the first place. Not only is this a strong upgrader in general, but the steam engines over here add 4 fueled on top of the 1 dropper up top that already came out fueled, and that should be enough to actually mesh well with the signal transmitter to actually increase multipliers more, and I've seen that that is the case. And then lastly, we're gonna go Gates of Calamity straight in. My best Gates of Calamity, 1.77 million rarity, guys, and that's really because it adds fire but immediately sells, so it doesn't really matter that it's here at the end. So that's what we got going on there, and that's how we're getting so much money per second, and that's what I've been doing. You could do the same thing. You may not have VIP like I do, so you may have a few less spots, but as long as you know the theory behind it, if you have the signal transmitter, it's all about just making things magnetic and fire. And if you do have the stuff that can, you know, add more of that on and clear the actual fire and stuff before it gets destroyed, then you're looking pretty good. But something I mentioned and I want to do is this golden auroral tundra, guys. I just recently got this negative golden one, 54 million rarity. This one is a 342 times multiplier compared to 46. So I want to put this on actually right there, and this is going to multiply them by a tremendous amount more, which is going to be amazing. So now we could watch the cash flow go up once everything gets into kind of a flow here. It has to work itself through all the way and then build up. But as you see, the cash is already starting to go up. Look at that. 3 into the 3 UDs instantly, and it's probably going to go higher, and that's because this is such a rare one. I literally just got it, guys. 283,872 rolls. Look where I'm at right now, 284,890. So I literally just got that like 1,000 rolls ago before the video, and I was like, wow, that's gonna make things even sweeter. So here we are now getting 6.4 UD a second, guys. This is 5-6 times better than what we were doing when the video started. That is going to help you get your upgrades a lot quicker. So it's really fun. I'm having a great time with this Tycoon. I think just the fact that it is RNG and it feels good when you get some rare stuff, it's exciting. But then when you start to get more and more stuff, you could put together builds and put combinations together and really kind of figure out how to best maximize things. So this is my signal transmitter magnetic fire build to get you all the way through most of the upgrades, get your Tycoon and luck maxed out. And yeah, you could use different rarities if you have better or worse ones. It'll generally work the same way as long as you use the same, you know, theory behind what I showed you here with what droppers you should have going into the upgrades and the order of the upgrades. And finally, of course, you know, the furnace that actually brings it all together, guys. So that's all I have for today. This is exciting. I'm gonna mess around with some new builds. I'm thinking of some other builds, but if you have any ideas for improvement for this kind of build, or any build you want me to kind of try out, oh my god, we're peaking up to 10.5 UD a second. That is pretty good after only playing for 4 days, not gonna lie. Just let me know in the comments. I'm actually enjoying this a lot, and I do plan on making more content and showing you more tips and tricks and builds and all that juicy stuff, guys. So thanks for sticking with me, and remember, till next time, stay positive, keep swinging, and have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.